are we doing? I'm doing great because today it's time for a straight to the playlist for April. If you're new here, this video just basically means that I will be discussing all the new music releases by artists that I follow and whether they're going straight to my playlist or not. It's pretty self-explanatory. But before we get into the single releases for this month, I do have to talk about the 2 albums that came out this month. The first one being Chronicle by Zayn. I still don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but I did a whole separate review for this. And then Demi Lovato also released the deluxe version of the album It's Not That Deep. The deluxe version is titled It's Not That Deep Unless You Want It To Be. And because there were 8 new songs, I also did a whole separate video for this, so you can go check that out if you want to know my thoughts on the new tracks on that deluxe. So that's everything I need to say beforehand, so let's get into it today. I feel like we finally are getting into the groove of new music releases. I feel like the past couple of months have been good, but like a little bit slow. And like now I've got a decent amount to talk about, so I'm very excited. Timestamps like always are in the description, so let's begin with the Allerliefste by Samson and Perrie. This is one of the few times that I don't mind them redoing an old Samson and Perrie song as a single. Yes, am I a little bit tired of the fact that we haven't gotten a new original song in a really long time? Yes, but this is such an iconic song. It's honestly baffling that they haven't done it until now, and this version slaps. Like, it's the definition of a banger, so it's definitely going straight to my playlist. Then we have Dinner Party, the After Hours version by Niall Horan. Dinner Party he released last month is the first single of his upcoming album for June, and this is a more mellow version of that song. I really like the original, but these mellow vibes really fit with it really well, and I also quite like it, so definitely another straight to the playlist. Then we have Drop Dead by Olivia and Rodrigo. Olivia is back, baby, and this was such a great comeback single, in my opinion, the great start to a new era. I'm very excited to see what it holds. I really like the song. It has a very kind of like dreamy vibe to it that I really like, and I don't know, I had a lot of fun listening to this. It's been stuck in my head ever since as well. I feel like it's such a good song, and I've seen a lot of like mixed opinions on this song, and I don't really get where that comes from, because I honestly just think this is great and makes me very excited to see where the rest of the era is gonna go. Again, new album in June, and I'm very excited for it, so this is another straight to the playlist, obviously. We have Low Rise Jeans by Demi Lovato. If you watched my It's Not That Deep Unless You Want It To Be video, you already know my thoughts on this, but it came out a week before the rest of the deluxe, so I technically have to talk about it in here as well. I don't make the rules, except I do. But it's a really fun, sexy track, and I had a blast listening to it, so it's another straight to the playlist. Then Perrie, a couple of months ago, she went and did some BBC Live versions of like a BBC Live performance. I don't really know what it was, I apologize, but that performance has been released on streaming this month, so we have 3 things in that category to talk about. Starting off with the Forget About Us BBC Live version, and I love this version so much. I feel like Forget About Us, I like that song, and it's definitely grown on me ever since it was released, but I do feel like sometimes it feels a bit flat, and this one just comes to life with like all the different instruments and the live vocals that are just a little bit of a step up from the original. I just can't complain, so it's definitely a straight to the playlist. Then we have Rocket Scientists. I believe this song was just released as a single when the performance was done, so that's why it wasn't clear, but I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on that because it's been a while. But I think this is a gorgeous rendition of an already really beautiful song, and was definitely a great pick for this kind of performance, so it's another straight to the playlist. And then lastly, for this performance we have Always, the BBC Live version. And this is a cover, and I'm not familiar with the original, I am sorry, but I thought this was a very stunning cover that fits Perrie's vocals really well, and it also kind of fit in within the line of the album, so I do think it was a great pick as a cover, and it's another straight to the playlist for me. Then we're going back to Niall with Little More Time. This is a really great song. It's the second single released from the album, and he claimed it to be his favorite. And I do get it. It's a really fun song. It's very catchy. Like, I already by the second chorus was singing along, because that's just how quickly my brain caught on to it. It's a good song. It's another straight to the playlist, and again, so excited for this album in June. Then for an album that comes out in May, we have Kingmaker by Maisie with Julia Michaels. When Maisie released her track list for her album Fluorescence, which like I said is coming out in May, and I saw this track list, I immediately got so excited for the song, so I'm very glad it got released pre-album, especially with the album now being pushed back a week, because I love Julia Michaels, I love Maisie. In my opinion, they are 2 very underrated songwriters, so I was very excited what they were going to do together. And of course it's a banger. Like, it's such a good song. I love the lyrics of it. Obviously I shouldn't have expected anything less, so it's definitely a straight to the playlist. And then we're wrapping things up with an iconic collaboration with When You Love by Madonna and Sabrina Carpenter. I purposely didn't look at any of the clips of the song of Coachella because they performed this when Sabrina but at Madonna during Coachella set. I already watched the Madonna songs, like we already released the older ones, the classics, because I really wanted to go into this blind the moment it was released, and I was glad I did because this song slaps. It is so good, and Sabrina and Madonna sound so good together. It's, if you haven't listened to it yet, definitely do. It's such a good time. So it's not a straight to the playlist, obviously. And that brings us to the end of this video. So yeah, we had a bit of an increase of songs from the last couple of months, but they were all bops, so I can't complain. Like, I generally think this is like one of the best selections of songs that I've talked about in one of these videos, and like, I'm not in charge of this, so like, it's a coincidence. But honestly, it was good song after good song after good song, and May is already looking amazing. We have 3 album releases, so hopefully I'll see you around then. But before that, also let me know in the comments if you have any of these songs, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.